Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day number 2 of the Heavy Metal Hot Wheels vs. Matchbox tournament. The first group of today is a Toyota Supra, a Firebird, a Porsche, and a Dodge. Now, I'm noticing all 4 of these racers have some very interesting or cool designs. That being said, that Firebird does bring back that creepy face from last time. I don't know if that's a ghost or a comet or what, but it's very unsettling for me for some reason. Right now, though, that car is out in front. The Firebird does have the lead. The Supra is trying to keep up with him. But so far, that Firebird seems to be shooting forward like a rocket. Will they be able to grab the fastest time? Almost. I think the fastest time we've had so far was a 13.21. I am very certain that if they're putting up times like that on the first day, or even the second in this case, then there's no doubt that somebody will break that 13-second mark. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it happened today. But the Firebird does get that first win. So they are the ones that are up for trying to get a sweep here. Into race number 2, Firebird quickly takes a lead, and one of those cars back there, I think that's the Porsche, is quickly trailing. We've already had 1 or 2 racers in the tournament so far that, for some reason, right after they start, they just can't seem to keep up with the other 3. And that Firebird is launching forward. No one is able to touch him. The other racers are trying to keep up with him, but they can't. And look at that! Our first 13-second breaker. The Firebird has finished with a 12.99. I'm sure a time like that can be beaten, but that is the first time we've the first time we've seen somebody finish under 13 seconds. And I'm sure there will be plenty more of those. And now the Firebird is in the position to get 1 more win and guarantee a spot in the finals. The other 3 have some work to do. Because that Firebird, they might start off pretty even with the other racers, but something causes them to launch forward, and then nobody has been able to catch up to them, regardless of which lane the Firebird is in. And look at that, they're leaving all the other racers off camera completely. It's hard to comment on the other racers when you can't even see them. And they just broke the record again. By another 0.2 of a second, the Firebird finishes with a 12.79. So they grab the fastest time, they grab a spot in the finals already, and now they're up for getting a sweep. If they get a sweep here, that'll be a hat trick. But the Dodge, the Porsche, and the Toyota Supra, they got some, they gotta step up their game if they want any shot of staying in contention. Because one of them is going to move on to the finals with the Firebird. But regardless of who it is, they could be in trouble when it gets to the finals. Because once again, the Firebird is way out in front, no one anywhere near them. And they could get the fastest time again. Are they going to? They do! Not by much, but that's all that is needed. Every little bit helps. Finishing with a 12.72. Now the fastest time, and even with that steep climb, they managed to do it and grab the sweep. They've gotten a perfect run so far, and it'll be the Dodge moving on with them. Let's see who will join them in the second group here. Another Toyota Supra, 2 more Mustangs, and a Ford GT. Now, I think I said on the first day that a Mustang would be my dream car, and one other thing is that I would probably add ghost flames to it. I know that Mustang doesn't have ghost flames per se, but it still looks pretty cool. So there is a small part of me that is rooting for them a little bit. But I'll try not to be too biased in my commentary. Especially since they're way behind right now, and it's the Toyota Supra and the yellow Mustang out in front right now. They're trying to get that first place finish, and it's the Supra that manages to do it. They do finish, however, with a 14.07. Almost all of the Firebird's finishes were under 13 seconds. So if they're finishing in the 14-second range. While they're winning now, they may not be able to do so later. I will give them props for design though. Those are some very vibrant colors. Into race number 2, the yellow Mustang is trying to grab an early lead and hold on to it, so the other racers will struggle to catch up with him. But the Ford GT is trying to keep up. Here comes the Supra, with a tighter turn, grabs the lead. But the yellow Mustang is still keeping up. Going into this final stretch here, the yellow Mustang is right behind him, and he has the tighter turn, takes advantage of it, and is able to grab the win, finishing with a 13.83. That is slightly better, but compared to the Firebird, that could still be a problem later. Let's look at the overall standings. The Supra and the yellow Mustang are currently tied for first, whereas the fiery Mustang, as I'll call him, along with the Ford GT, they are quickly losing any chances to move on. And in this third race here, once again, the yellow Mustang and the Supra are out in front while the other two trail behind them. They do have the tighter turns, and the Ford GT is actually keeping up with them, trying to pass the yellow Mustang. And he does, he almost passes the Supra, but he's currently unable to. Gets that turn that kills so much of their speed, and the yellow Mustang wins again, this time with 13.8. Slightly better, but still not great if they want to keep up with this Firebird here. Going into this final race, the yellow Mustang and the Supra are pretty much set to move on. I hate to count anybody out, but when you only finish in third or fourth, you greatly decrease your odds every time. Going into this final race though, it's the Supra that's out in front, and the yellow Mustang is trying to catch back up, has that tight turn and is able to, and the Ford GT is actually out in second right now. The question is, will they be able to hold on to it? The yellow Mustang actually has no one near them. The Ford GT is trying to catch them, but that wide turn causes the Supra to steal second, and the yellow Mustang wins again. They did not get the sweep, but they managed to be relatively consistent regardless of which lane they were sitting in. So now it is the Mustang and the Toyota Supra moving on. So now here we go into today's finals. Now based off what we've seen, it's the Firebird that you want to watch out for. The Dodge did join him, but they still did not perform very well compared to some of these other racers. And as we see, the Dodge is quickly falling behind, and the Firebird is once again out in front, trying to get a total sweep. I'm not sure what we should call that. What do you think we should call it, everybody, when somebody wins every single race in one video? Because so far, the Firebird is on track to do that. They didn't quite get the fastest time there, but they still finished under 13 seconds, which they've been able to do all but one time, I think. So they get that first win. The Dodge does keep out of last place, but at this point, it's not the top two that move on. It's the person who finishes in first overall. And while the Supra is trying to keep up with the Firebird, that tight turn did make them gain a bit of a lead over the Supra. But now they have a wider turn, but it just doesn't seem to matter, regardless of which lane they're in. The Firebird seems to have great control, great speed on top of that, and they are just leaving everyone in the dust, finishing with a 12.73. I can't remember exactly what time they finished with earlier that gave them the fastest time. I think it was either that or a 12.71. But they already have 2 wins under their belt. If they get one more, they will automatically join the previous winner of day 1 in the roster for the grand finals. And if they get another win after that, they will get a total sweep. Maybe that's what we'll call it, but feel free to let us know in the comments what you think we should call it when somebody wins every single race in the entire video. The Firebird already has a really good lead. The Mustang is trying to keep up, but so far has been unable to. And here comes the Firebird to win yet another race, finishing with a 12.63. 1:34. I believe that is now the fastest time we've had so far. They are already going to be moving on. At this point, it's going to be total bragging rights. Because if they get one more win, not only will they be one of the first cars, I don't think they're the first, but one of the first cars in this tournament to get a sweep, but they will be the first one to win every single race they've had so far. If they can do that in the grand finals, that will conclude the Firebird to be one of the best racers we have ever seen. And so far, it looks like they're going to get that total sweep because they yet again leave everyone in the dust to the point where the cameraman is unable to put any focus on them. And they finished with a 12.70. Ladies and gentlemen, the Firebird has won every single race they had today. And they finished under 13 seconds almost every single time. And they will join the previous Mustang in the grand finals. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.